2.8 degrees of warming, which is a catastrophic
Paris
level.
Accords.
One of the really hopeful things about this report is it's very clear, firstly, that we have all the tools that we need to halve emissions this decade, and secondly, that the price of doing that is actually lower than the cost of not doing it. It's very clear that the cheapest and easiest tools that we have available already to solve this problem are solar power, wind power, electric vehicles, heat pumps, all of these technologies that we are actually increasingly familiar with, but that we, in common with lots of countries, are just not implementing fast enough to get in line with that 1.5 degree commitment.
And the next round of UN-backed reports on climate change will only be published in the latter part of the decade, with experts warning that by then it will be too late to address the worst impacts of global warming that have already been clearly identified. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, concerns have been raised over censorship in Hong Kong following a decision to pull a new Winnie the Pooh horror movie from cinemas there. The Ugandan parliament has passed a controversial anti-homosexuality bill which makes homosexual acts punishable by death. And US officials have called on the Nigerian government to prosecute people found to have intimidated voters during state parliamentary elections last Saturday. That's the latest feature story news. Laura Macon-Isherwood reporting.
Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7. Getting started on a Wednesday. It's Scott Allen and my buddy Mike Vance. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. So are you moving into cyberspace behind you there?
I am. I was feeling a little bit spacey today, and I like those science stories. I had a couple science stories that were pretty cool today. A planetary alignment. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a little bit.
So moving into a different time dimension?
Yes. Or maybe let's just stick with spacey. All right.
Spacey. Space cadet.
Before we get to our morning jokes, let's do a little weather, Mike. I checked the traffic camera up there at the golf course. It looks beautiful out this morning. Expected daytime high, 57. 57.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, we were in Spokane yesterday, and it was 61.
Wow. I had a buddy over on the coast yesterday. He said 69.
Really?
Nice.
Spring has sprung.
It has. 30 for an overnight low with a few passing clouds. Then you have some showers on scheduled for tomorrow at 50%, 48 and 32 for the high and low. A little cooler for the weekend and Friday, 44 on Friday, 28 for an overnight low. Cloudy skies, 25% chance of precip. Carry that 25% through your weekend. Saturday, 44 and 29, and Sunday, 46 and 28. Of course, cloudy both days. Looking at Monday, 49 and 28, and a partly cloudy day, just a 10% chance of rain. There's a little check your weather. Kids today for breakfast, Mini Cinnies cereal, fresh fruit juice, and their choice of milk. And then for lunchtime, they're looking at a sausage patty, a hash brown patty, a biscuit, eggs, fresh veggies, fresh fruit, milk choice, and country gravy. That's right, 2 breakfasts. Yay.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
It does.
Biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy.
I don't get those very often because,
it doesn't fit our diet, does it?
I'm watching my diet.
Yes. Oh. All right. Is Loretta watching your figure too?
Always.
All right. And that kicks off the morning joke. Mike, would you like to go first with your jokes this morning?
You bet.
Are you ready? I've got a horrible sound effect to take you in. Here you go.
Hey, Scott.
Yes.
Why wouldn't the pirate play cards?
I don't know.
Because he was sitting on the deck. Okay. All right. So Scott, you're an intelligent, worldly person.
Okay. We're acting now.
What's the difference between a piano and a fish?
You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
Oh, You stole my thunder.
Was that a setup?
Yeah. Okay, well, all right. So why can't you trust the king of the jungle?
I don't know. Why can't you trust the king of the jungle?
Because he's always lying.
Oh, dad jokes.
And last but not least, two mobile phones got married.
They did.
Yeah, they exchanged ringtones. But the reception was terrible.
Oh.
And that's it for the dad jokes for the day.
Well, that's kind of light, but I've got a fully packed boat that some people might not like. All right, here we go. Donald Trump one-liners. Worked on these all night.
Okay.
All right. What does Donald Trump's wife Melania see in her husband?
I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
A truckload of money and high cholesterol. All right. What is Trump's favorite TV series? Think about it. Think about it.
Double Jeopardy.
Oh, you're really close. It's Orange is the New Black. All right. What's the fastest way to get Trump to change a light bulb?
I got to keep this clean.
All right. Tell him Biden installed it. All right. They'll get a little better.
Mine would have been better, but we'd been taken off the air.
Okay. Oh, wow. Last night there was an accident and Trump's personal library burnt down. This is a huge catastrophe because both of his books were lost. He had only colored in one of them so far. Oh. All right.
I was thinking maybe both of his diaries were lost.
They were left inside classified documents.
That's right.
Why is Trump unable to be hanged for treason? No,
they can't find a tree crooked enough.
Oh, you're pretty close there. Fake news. Same fake news joke. Why did Trump get absolutely soaked when he was traveling down the river? Fake canoes. What condition does Trump take his anti-anxiety medication for?
Orangeness.
No. Hispanic attacks. Oh, that's bad. All right. There's a term for presidents like Donald Trump, but probably not a second one, though. And you can just say, I don't know. Why do Republicans continue to support Trump?
I don't know.
Because they really believe in taking a baby to full term. How does Donald Trump play darts? You know,
in
this
the dark.
Actually, Mike, he throws the darts and then draws the targets around him. It's kind of sad the same way I do it, too.
That's right. It sounds like this show.
What's the song Kokomo by the Beach Boys about? You know the song, right?
Yeah.
Aruba, Jamaica, baby, don't you want to take... All right.
Yeah.
It's the various locations of Trump's bank accounts. This one's really bad. What Disney character loves Trump the most?
What Disney character?
Yes, what Disney character? Goofy. Oh, that's second. Actually, the first one is Snow White Supremacist. And finally, the last one. I know you're ready for it. Did you hear Trump respond when he was president, when he was questioned about how to deal with Hurricane Florence?
Space Force.
No, actually, he said, pay her the same as Stormy Daniels. All right, I told you they were bad.
They were bad. Yeah.
They were bad.
Yeah. You must have had to really look for fillers today.
Yeah, I did. It had to be fast too.
Yeah, it's
All
true.
right.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of stuff today? You want to do a few news headlines?
We can do a few new headlines.
All right, I'll try to do some quickly here. Proposed California bill gonna ban the sale of, this is gonna hurt you, Mike, Skittles, hot tamales, double bubble twist gum, and other food items containing chemicals that legislators say are toxic and dangerous. Let's see, introduced by Assembly members Jesse Gabriel and Buffy Wicks, AB 418 proposed that California stop manufacturing, selling, or distributing foods that contain red dye number 3, titanium dioxide. That doesn't sound healthy at all. Oh, I'm feeling so heavy today. I had a bunch of
There
titanium
goes my hot
dioxide.
dogs and bologna.
Yeah. Potassium bromate, bromated vegetable oil. That's friendly vegetable oil. And propylparaben. These chemicals can cause significant health problems like increased risk of cancer, damage to the immune system, and behavioral issues in children. It's coming up for vote. Could be a good thing.
Okay, well, it's California. It'll probably pass.
Yes. All right, this one's kind of fun. Footage captures the moment a carjacking suspect tried to flee from police on a skateboard in Los Angeles. Pedro Vallebos can be seen abruptly jumping out of the stolen pickup after losing control of the vehicle during the police chase. As a number of LAPD officers raise their guns, he takes off on a skateboard, leading to a foot chase. Vallebos is quickly cut off by 2 police cars, and an officer catches up with him and shoves him to the ground. Video online for your enjoyment. All right, another fun one. 2 Virginia inmates bust out of jail after using a toothbrush to dig a tunnel through their cell wall on Monday. I mean, it's like a man-sized hole through the bottom of their cell.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And-
Must have been made out of, like, gypsum board.
Yeah, something. How do you get through with a toothbrush? I guess they had a little piece of metal, too, that they had carved. They quickly scaled the wall and escaped the prison unnoticed. Where do you think the first place they stopped was?
McDonald's.
You're close. IHOP. It's true. They hopped over a wall and then went straight to IHOP, where customers noticed they had prison jumpsuits on and promptly called the police.
And they ordered 4 orders of pancakes.
Yeah, no word if they got to finish the pancakes, which is the sad.
That's true.
All right. Online fun today. AI, so artificial intelligence generated deepfakes showing Donald Trump making a run from authorities and being arrested have flooded Twitter ahead of the former president's possible indictment this week yet. Mr. Trump could be indicted by a Manhattan grand jury as soon as today. All right. But they're so all over Twitter, I guess, is these fake videos of him being tackled by police, running from police, all sorts of fun stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I imagine. I haven't seen any of it, but...
All right. My 2 space stories, these are kind of fun. Organic molecules have been detected in samples collected by Japan's Hayabusa 2 mission from the near-Earth asteroid Ryugu. That's kind of, because I get to name them, too. This is kind of cool. They actually, you don't hear about Japan and space travel and stuff, but they have a lunar lander now circling the moon. It's supposed to try and land late April, which is very cool. I believe that one is Hayabusa 1, if I'm correct. Researchers analyzed the samples collected for 2 different locations on the asteroid. And what they did is they got something on the asteroid and got some, hunks of it. And then they shot basically a steel bullet into it, making a crater, and got some samples from there as well. They found uracil, one of the building blocks of RNA, as well as vitamin B3 and niacin, and some more stuff in the asteroid. Uracil is a nucleobase, or a nitrogen-containing compound. It's one of 5 nucleobases in DNA and RNA, the proteins and molecules that contain genetic information and instructions crucial for cells of living organisms. Study detailing the findings was published yesterday in the journal Nature Communications. Rigel is a carbon-rich diamond-shaped asteroid that measures about 3,000 feet wide. Hayabusa 2 was the first mission to return a subsurface sample from an asteroid and then back to Earth. Before, when they've gotten samples from asteroids, they couldn't maintain the validity of the compounds that they found because they could have been contaminated when they came back to Earth. But the way they did this one, no contamination was possible. Let's see, they launched in 2019, and it dropped the sample off in Australia in December of 2020. They've had a chance to analyze all this stuff, and they've claimed this asteroid carries the building blocks of life, which is pretty cool. It says
all this from Japan?
Yes. Other biological molecules are found in the sample as well, including a selection of amino acids and carboxylic acids, which are found in proteins and everyone's metabolism. Together, the findings from our goose sample so far add to the increasing evidence that the building blocks of life originated in space and were originally delivered to Earth billions of years ago by meteorites. Think about that. All right.
Okay.
All right. People can catch a 5-planet alignment next week as Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Uranus, and Mars will all appear across the night sky. Planets will align right before the turn of the month on March 28th. The large planetary alignment, defined as an alignment of 5 or 6 planets, will be visible after sunset, which is better than the meteor yesterday that flew by at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It has a small 50-degree sector in the sky. This is according to a group called Star Walk. You can Google them and find out more details, too. Jupiter and Mercury will be located closer to the horizon. Venus and Uranus will appear higher up, and Mars will shine near the moon, according to Star Walk. March 28th will be the best day for observation, they said, but the alignment's going to be visible days before and after. All right. Pretty cool. Get to see them with
only
the
at
naked
night,
eye.
though, right?
Yes, Mike. Only at night. And not on your ceiling. All right. We go into
I'll
now.
have to get a hold of Kat Brooks and say, Kat, did you know this? I want you up at 3 a.m. taking pictures.
Yeah. You stop shooting that Aurora Borealis and get us some cool shots of planets for one night. Nah.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So we move on to what Mike does every Wednesday, and that's bring us the nonprofit roundup. And I know you got a big a big event coming up on Saturday.
Let me think about that. No, it's the Chewelah Chamber Home Show, the big home and garden show.
Very nice.
Coming up on the what?
Very nice.
Very nice. Yeah, coming up on the 25th of March from 10 to 3 at Guess Elementary. And it's going to have raffles and burgers and door prizes and all the well, I won't say all the vendors, but to have vendor promotions. So it's a great time for you to introduce yourself to the business community and nonprofit community, because both of those will be there, including the Creative District, the Arts Guild, and I believe PACA, although don't quote me on that one. The Lions and Iguanas are serving the burgers for a generous donation. It's one of the ways that they help out the community from that perspective. So be there or be square, as they say.
And a reminder, it's always free.
It's always free. There's no door prize. You're absolutely right. And there's going to be inside exhibits, and then they'll be outside too. Because, you've got, believe the Toyota dealership's going to be there. And, of course, the big boy toy store, Hartel's, will be there. And I believe they're outside and inside. So you've got the big toys for boys, and you've got the small toys for boys.
All right.
And girls. I don't want to be discriminating here. Okay?
I love looking at the new tractors and side-by-sides, all that kind of stuff. Fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I drove by there yesterday, and he's must have got 14 semi-loads of toys.
It is spring.
It's full. Anything and everything I think you possibly want, for that mini garden to that major garden.
All right.
So, but yeah, it's an annual event. I believe this is the 8th one or 9th one, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I would promote this very heavily. It's one of the first places that Loretta and I got introduced to the community, because if you moved here and you don't know much about Chewelah, it's a great place to find out about it. Because we've had some work done from people that have been vendors, and if they can't do it or they're too booked, the nice thing about Chewelah is they'll actually refer you to somebody.
Connections.
Which is really nice. That doesn't happen everywhere by any means. And then coming up on the 22nd of April, we have the citywide cleanup day. It's a community event where the downtown is cleaned up. from the winter, because, around here, once it snows, things get hidden. And as we were talking before the show started, I was downtown yesterday and the snow is pretty much gone. But now you have all the sand and gravel and dust and, discarded masks.
You can tell the difference if you drive through downtown in the next few days and then drive downtown after that Saturday. It's such a huge difference. It really makes it's cool to see everybody out sweeping sidewalks, painting the red zones on curbs and all sorts of stuff.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a very well organized event. I think pretty much all the service clubs are involved, and then Boy Scouts are involved. I believe some of the school kids are involved, and then a huge segment of the community. So you'll see more coming up on that. But basically, you just show up, and if you want, you can show up with a scoop shovel and a broom. But they pretty much provide everything that's needed. So, and including, I believe, they generally will have some kind of finishing up around noon kind of barbecue community event type thing where people can kind of celebrate getting together.
Yeah.
Real quick,
keep your train of thought there. I just forgot that at the beginning of the show, we forgot to tease today's guests and give people a heads up. Jason Perrins, superintendent of the Chihuahua School District, joining us today at 8 for some news too.
That's right. And he insisted that he's on because he's got great news with big topics.
Okay. Yeah. A whole list of them is huge.
Whole list of them. Yeah. So I think, and Jason's pretty articulate, so we'll be able to use up a lot of the show. I think just being able to listen to him and ask him questions.
All right.
And then the citywide garage sale is always the first Saturday in May. And the first Saturday in May is May 6th. So that's another one of those kind of community events that if you're new to the community, it's you can put your own garage sale in the Independent. The Independent, the Thursday beforehand, will have a map and locations, and we actually have a fair number of people come in from out of town to attend the Chihuahua garage sale.
It's a big deal.
It is. It's a big deal. And then always with the chamber, you've got chamber bucks. And if you haven't missed Christina with a K at the chamber office, stop by during the chamber office hours, which are generally 9 to 2, Tuesday through Friday, and introduce yourself. There's a big brochure rack there that's anywhere from maps of Stephen counties to ATV trails of things to do to, like the mural tour that the Creative District sponsors, to brochures on the golf course and 49 Degrees North. And I mean, it's a great information center. In fact, it is called the Chihuahua Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Information Center.
Okay.
And I know just on the marketing committee for the Chihuahua Chamber, they're going to focus more on the Visitor Information Center this year to make sure people understand it's a go-to type thing. And if what you can't pick up in the kiosk in the park, because there's lots of information on that, you can definitely stop by the chamber office and pick that up. Let's see. Then we move on to the Chihuahua Center for the Arts. We have SpongeBob the Musical coming up at the end of March, on March 31st, and then April 1st and April 2nd. You can go on their website and purchase tickets. They have if you follow their Facebook page, they had a little clip on it that popped up yesterday interviewing the kids, and there's a pile of kids involved in this, and so it's going to be a really good, fun event for the community. And then coming up from Park Avenue Players, which is also part of the Chihuahua Center for the Arts, we have a new musical comedy coming up on May 12th and 14th and 19th to 21st. It's called The Church Basement Ladies.
Funny.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I'm thinking church basement sounds like a rock group, a geriatric rock group.
Yeah, they play punk music or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's a musical comedy. So, and we've got some phenomenal musicians, singers, whatever in this community. So, kind of take the singer series and put that into a musical comedy. I think it'll be fun.
Be awesome.
So, definitely. That was just announced. And then something Joel Wasinski put together on April 22nd, which is also the cleanup day in the city. And its Earth Day is they're going to have an artist cleanup sale at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. And this is where they're inviting artists to come in and kind of clean up their inventory. So, because artists that create all the time sometimes lose space to put the stuff, or they don't have enough events where they can vendor it out. So Joe I think this great idea, very reasonably priced for artists. So if you want to get a table for $10 for the day, for the 4 hours that they're there, then you can go onto the Chihuahua Center for the Arts website. It gives you all the instructions on how to be able to do that. So I think it's a great idea. And hopefully it'll turn into like an annual event. And I don't know if it was just luck or whether Joe figured out that that's citywide cleanup day. So why not have an artist?
Everybody's going to be out and about anyways. And what a great way what a great way to connect with the local artists and see what they're doing.
Exactly. And he's going to do it in the afternoon. So it'll be after the cleanup. So you're downtown anyway. So why don't you just saunter over to the Chihuahua Center for the Arts and see what they have to offer over there. Then we move into the Creative District. Creative District's back up and running with the Spotlight Gallery. It'll come up on first Thursday, which is April 6th. If you want to go on the Creative District website or the Facebook page within the next couple of days, the artists that we're featuring will be on there. I know there's 2 already, and they're waiting for confirmation on 3 because the Creative District likes to sponsor 3 artists at a time on the Spotlight Gallery. And these are, generally speaking, artists that are new and upcoming or haven't had the opportunity to display what they offer. And so it's a great opportunity to do that on first Thursday. And then Washington Federal has asked the Creative District to be the business of the month for the month of April. And so there's already a gallery showing in there. K.S. Brooks has got a beautiful gallery showing of all of the Aurora Borealis pictures she's taken over a period of, I think at least a year, because it's been going on pretty aggressively for a year. Mm-hmm. And those are, like, I've already purchased one of those for our own personal gallery at home, but all that is for sale. She has postcards for sale and all kinds of things from that standpoint. And then the Creative District will be there displaying the community mosaic that was put together over the Winterfest and the Arts Guild's annual art show. That'll actually be first displayed at the home show too. So you'll be able to see there and then pick up all kinds of information about the Creative District. So, and thank you to Washington Federal for asking us to be the business of the month, because obviously there's only 12 of those a year, right?
Yeah, very cool.
So, and then I got this from Shelley Stevens, our contact up at TED, just to remind people that they're doing an art guides and outfitters training action team is holding their first event on March 30th from 5:30 to 7:30. And they got some funding to help develop a program for Northeast Washington for the guides and the outfitters. And I really want to encourage people, if you do any kind of guiding, and they brought up bird watching or ATV riding or any of those outdoor recreational type activities you can think of, they'd be eligible to potentially look at what's available.
Teach a coastie how to fish.
And yeah, exactly. And so it's at the TED World headquarters in Caulfield. It's easy to find. It's over by Rural Resources, the Chamber, and I think it's called the Grocery Outlet, the big grocery store up there now.
Yes. It's
all in that same complex, and it's from 5:30 to 7:30. And then Shelley puts in here that there'll be some assorted delectable treats.
Okay.
So, I think it's a great opportunity. I mean, they're working very hard with TED up there to develop the Northeast Washington as a destination for people to come to visit. And this is actually of the pillars that I've been working on for the Northeast Washington Tourist Initiative. Guides and outfitters is one of them. So I think if you have an interest, show up. We might end up being some support there to develop out your business. And then the Rusty Putter, just to finalize that, the Rusty Putter will be at the Home and Garden Show, and their seasonal hours are still in play. And so Friday from 8 till 7, Saturday from 8 till 7, and Sunday from 8 to 3. And then, as always, depending on when Gonzaga plays, because we're in the NCAA now, some of those hours may be extended if it makes sense from a business perspective.
Okay.
And the Rusty Putter at the Home and Garden Show will have a 10% off coupon for the entire ticket for a meal. So if you want to stop by the Home and Garden Show and pick that up, those will be good through the end of April. So you'll have the opportunity to utilize those over a 5 or 6 week period of time.
Okay.
I always get asked I'm already getting asked when's the golf course going to be open, especially if you're down on the valley floor and you can't see any snow. And I will say that we still have snow on the golf course. So we're just waiting for Mother Nature.
All right.
Effectively, the grounds crew will come back. Probably, my guess is next week or the week after to start getting the golf course ready. But it's all dependent upon Scott and his weather forecast.
Ooh, put pressure on me. Can you see Can you see any green on the greens?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not at least on where I'm at. On the clubhouse, they have that big putting green and the chipping green, and those the fringes are starting to melt off, so you can see some green there. But normally they would take snowblowers and clean off the greens so they dry out relatively quick. But when I contacted Ron May the other day, because we wanted to get some action shots for our Facebook page, he said, we're not going to do that this year because there's no ice underneath. And normally what they would do is they would take off the insulating layer of snow so that the ice melts from the sun. But he said, we're not going to have to do that this year. So, other than that, over the winter, we got some new equipment, or new to us equipment, to jump faster and jump higher and run faster as far as the golf course is concerned. The new dining room furniture has been ordered, and the projected date it's supposed to be delivered is April 1st. So, that's kind of dependent upon freight carriers. And what we're finding in the golf course, and most Chihuahua knows, sometimes just because it shows up in Spokane, it takes a while to get here, because they offload it in Spokane and then they take a local carrier to bring it up, the valley. So, but the dining room will have all new dining room furniture, hopefully by opening day, which is targeted now for April 15th. And then the patio furniture, which is inside, will move outside. And they'll be getting that all ready to go.
All right.
So,
and you guys got new patio. You got new patio furniture last year, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and we decided to just move it inside and get rid of the older tables and some of the older chairs, and it actually gave you a feel of what the layout should look like, because the new stuff is rectangular or square versus those big round tables. And people loved it. They actually liked the outdoor furniture inside too, as far as that goes. So it was real good beta test, I guess, to figure out what we needed. And okay. I haven't seen the furniture. I do know that they had a committee that did pretty extensive research on different types of furniture. We have a restaurant consultant that helped out pick out the right type, given what the course is, things like that. So, right. But it's a long time coming. The furniture's been in there. It's been there 20 years plus. So, yeah. So things are cooking along pretty good.
All right. I'll get one of those coupons and use it to check out the new furniture.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You're going to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason says, he just sent me an email. don't forget me. He needs a Zoom link.
He's got it. I sent it yesterday.
He's got it.
He's got it.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
must be buried in his stuff. So maybe I'll forward it to him again because I think I have it too.
All right. Are you done with the roundup?
I am done with the roundup.
All right, I'll let you send him that email. I have a couple of stories you can listen to in the background. Dozens of mystery minions turning up in a small Australian town. Now, this is a cool one. It's, these kind of things could happen in Chihuahua. So, very small town. Minions, like those seen in the Despicable Me movies, have descended on a tiny Australian town of Warwick, Victoria. Apparently 24 minions. 24. That's 24 of them. Have been installed across multiple properties. That means there is 1 minion for every 3 Warwick residents. Somebody's been busy.
I was going to say.
The figures are fashioned from scrap metal, with some able to be used as planters or mailboxes. Residents aren't sure who's installing these minions, but suspect it could be the only guy in town with an angle grinder. That guy denies he's making metal minions, and so
Minions?
Yeah,
That's a lot of them, though. You
That
imagine
is.
how much time that takes?
Yeah, and 24 of them all over town. So as you walk around town, you hear things like, or this.
Ba, 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 ba.
And then my favorite minion,
Bodu bleeb, bobo geep, bodwa da, do, da, dwa, ma.
all right, I see Jason in the green room. He either found that email or got the one you just sent.
Oh, okay, good.
All right, a few minutes before the top of the hour, we have time to ask him a few questions. That's right, it's Ask Mike.
Oh no! Oh no! Let me put on my
Following
Brainiac
program is
glasses.
closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Sorry.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
All right. Little trivia for Mike, if I could find fun and games this morning. First one, person suffering from polythelia has 3 of these. What are they?
3 of these.
Yeah. Or possibly even more. Normally you have 2, but you could end up
Nipples.
with... Yes! He has experience with this. All right. In sports, the very first one of these had 15 participants. The year was 1897. What was it? Very first one of these had
Very
only
first,
15.
1897.
Yeah, now
baseball.
No, thousands of people will participate in this. So the very first one of these had only 15 participants. Now it has thousands. The year was 1897. It's on the East Coast. It's very popular. What was it? Happens once a year.
The horse races.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
East Coast,
And actually,
once a year.
Of these 15 participants, only 10 finished.
Oh, marathon.
There you go. Looking at the Boston Marathon. Here you go. Spy the lie, Mike. Burger King's original name was Binko Burger King. If a tuna stops swimming, it sinks. SpongeBob SquarePants was going to be Sponge Boy, but the name was already trademarked. Which one's the lie?
The Burger King one.
It is. All right. What was it? Do you have any idea what the
First name?
what the original name was going to be? Or original name?
Burger Express.
Insta Burger King.
That was close.
Not so much. All right. I should have saved that one. All right. Let's see. Doing this common office task for 1 hour will burn 110 calories.
Doing this common what?
Doing this common office task for 1 hour will burn 110 calories.
I was going to say napping, but
Only 50.
oh,
Yeah.
common office task for 1 hour will burn 15. Filing.
You just did this.
Oh, I just did this?
Yes.
Man.
Yeah.
Talking.
I mean, just seconds ago, you were doing this for Jason.
Oh, emailing.
Typing. There you go.
I didn't type.
I don't know why I gave you applause. All right. Vegetarians do this more than the rest of us.
Pass gas.
He's exactly right. 10,000 points from Mike. You must have some vegetarian friends.
I do.
All right. Though it consumes up to 25% of the blood's oxygen supply, this body part is motionless. It does not grow, divide, or contract. What is it?
Your skin.
No, sir.
25% of the oxygen supply?
And I would say your skin can contract because you get goosebumps and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
All right. 25% of the blood's oxygen supply used by this body part. It's motionless, does not grow, divide, or contract.
Kidney.
No. Sometimes it hurts, though.
Like
yours is probably killing you right now.
Your my brain. Okay.
Okay. President Thomas Jefferson was the first president to greet guests to the White House in what way?
Oh, in what way?
Yeah.
With a dinner.
No, it'd be the very first thing they do.
Oh, handshake.
Yes. What did they do before the handshake?
Send an invite.
No. I mean, instead of shaking hands, what did they do before that when you greeted someone at the White House? Instead of shaking your hand, you did this.
Bow?
Yes. Good job. Look how smart he is. There you go. We're going to go to break. When we come back, it's Mr. Jason Perrins, our superintendent of the Chewewa School District. I hope you'll stay with us. It's Northern Lights Public Radio. We are KCHW 102.7. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
All right.
Morning.
All right. Look at your background. You're so professional. All right, Jason.
I know it.
Same as look at that. Same as the other times you've visited, we are on break for news.
Okay.
All right. And they can hear us right now over Facebook and YouTube, but not the radio. So we're going to go back to the news. Okay. We have to thank some sponsors of the newscast, and then we'll come back with you for the rest of the show or however long you got. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's a qualifier. Okay, great.
All right. We've got about 7.5 minutes. All right.
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
Arizona, where an elected official there shared his concerns at a recent national conference about threats to safe and fair elections.
Multiple experts at the UCLA School of Law event said they're worried about democracy as the next presidential election approaches. Republican Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Risher, who took office after the 2020 election, says he fears election denialism has become integral to the Arizona GOP and that the state has become the global hotspot for conspiracy theories. Risher says it's created what he calls an incentive structure for politicians to simply go along with.
I am deeply, deeply pessimistic because this is a necessary ingredient for winning a Republican primary in the state of Arizona is to say that the 2020 election and the 2022 election were stolen in order to win a Republican primary.
Risher shared some voicemail messages with the crowd in which election deniers threaten him and his office for alleging election tampering. I'm Alex Gonzalez reporting.
Meantime, in rural Georgia, hardworking farmers grapple with staying competitive in the global market, and some say they are hindered by limited broadband access.
The website Broadband Now ranks Georgia 21st among states for affordable high-speed internet access, but wide swaths of the state are still without broadband service. Susanna Cox-Maddox with the group Rural Voices Georgia emphasizes the need for enhanced connectivity. She says many in the ag industry still rely on satellite internet because it's their only option.
It's essential for farmers to follow commodity markets, to communicate with their customers, and to gain access to new markets around the world. I think often people don't think about just how high-tech farming is. It is crucial.
In February, Governor Brian Kemp unveiled a grant package of $455 million to help entice service providers to expand high-speed internet availability in 28 counties. Major providers have often said expansion into rural areas isn't profitable enough. Shantia Hudson reporting.
The Georgia Tech Research Institute estimated 1.6 million people in the state still lacked high-speed internet access. Now from Politico, they say that demonstrators who want a Donald Trump indictment far outnumbered MAGA supporters Tuesday morning outside the Manhattan Criminal Court, where the former president was expected to be charged. Politico notes that despite Trump's prediction Saturday that he would be arrested Tuesday and his call for supporters to protest, the courthouse was relatively quiet Tuesday as the grand jury on the probe only sits on Mondays and Wednesdays. This is Public News Service. An upcoming event in Raleigh, hosted in part by William Peace University, aims to bring hip-hop artist culture to North Carolina's college students.
The Hip Hop Higher Ed Symposium includes breakout sessions led by local and national scholars, artists, and MCs. Executive Director of the consulting firm Aspire to Hire, Stephanie Reed, is the symposium's creator. She explains, while most people might be familiar with hip hop as a music genre, it's more recently been analyzed from an academic and cultural standpoint.
Looking at some of the anthropological components of the culture itself and really studying how the culture has impacted and informs the lives of many different types of people.
Nadia Ramlagan reporting.
Across the nation, more educators are using hip-hop culture in the classroom. That to help students explore society, race, geography, politics, and other topics. Some Indiana elementary students are getting an extra dose of emotional support. In the classroom, it comes from service dogs.
At West Clay Elementary in Carmel, Principal Jill Shipp says kids feel an immediate bond with her dog, Palmer, and want to pet him or read him a story. She says service dogs are helpful for children who have trouble with fear or uncertainty or difficulty communicating.
I've had kids that come down that are experiencing grief or anxiety or changes in their life, maybe kids that have made a move to a new home, and they're just upset. They're carrying big worries. Being with him and petting him and getting dog kisses and getting their mind off of it really, really helps.
She says teachers also request visits with the service dogs during trying times, like state scholastic testing. I'm Terry D. reporting.
Finally, our Eric Ticketoff lets us know this March marks the 50th anniversary of the National Nutrition Month. He notes that making sure kids eat healthy can be tricky.
Chuck Larimer is a physical education teacher at Staten Elementary School, located southeast of Salem. His school has been part of the American Heart Association's Kids Heart Challenge for 23 years. He says kids look forward to the program, but it's not just about getting active.
There's more to it than just exercise, which is also important, but it's that whole body wellness that's more of a focus.
The Kids Heart Challenge has been going on for nearly 45 years in elementary, middle, and high schools across the country.
Research has shown it could take at least 11 tries for a kid to decide they like a new food. That's according to the American Heart Association. This is Mike Clifford for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Here's our radio stations, big and small, your favorite podcast platform. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
It's 8:09.
Your KCHW morning show is made possible by donations from Chihuahua Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products, including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at ChuilafLlooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at ChuilafLlooring@gmail.com.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW-FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
KCHW programming is made possible by listeners like you and by
New Health. At New Health, we are committed to promoting health and wellness within our communities by providing integrated open access healthcare for all. Our medical care teams offer in-person visits, curbside care, and telehealth visits. Schedule today for a new patient appointment. Curbside pharmacy pickup and mailing options are available to meet your medication needs. Contact New Health at 509-935-6004. That's 509-935-6004 to schedule today, or visit our website at newhealth.org for a location nearest you. New patients are welcome and most insurance plans are accepted, including Medicare, Apple Health Plans, TRICARE, and private insurance. New Health, celebrating 45 years of bringing healthcare into communities and communities into healthcare.
This is KCHW, Chewelah, 102.7 FM.
And just that fast, we're back. It's KCHW 102.7, looking at 812, and thrilled to welcome our guest back to the show. It is the one and only Jason Perrins, our superintendent for the Chewelah School District. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me once again.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning.
I like this. It's getting to be almost a monthly event. You keeping us updated on what's going on with the kids.
I think it's every 3 or 4 months, but thank you. Yeah.
I have a problem.
Well, we can make it monthly.
Yeah.
I would run out of things to say. So let's keep it at 4.
Well, according to the list that you sent over of topics, you have been very, very busy. Are you hanging in there?
Hanging is the key word.
Hanging is
hanging
the key word.
in there.
All right. All right. Well, let's get right into it. You had a big list today. We'll try to get through them for you. The first one on your list was an update for us on the capital levy.
Yeah, this is always something that we want the community to know about, the work we're doing. You know, I put information in newsletters throughout the year, and but a lot of times it's still hard to reach our community. Not everybody drives by the school, not everybody sees things, but things are going really well. As you know, we passed a capital levy a couple of years ago, and so that has to do, one, with our science classrooms that are actually being that's going to happen this summer, so that's good. It's taken a bit. You have 2 issues. One is the planning, but then the other is, as you know, it's difficult to do anything nowadays. The supply issue is always issue. And prices have changed. So it's interesting. We've had to, on a number of our projects, try to find some grant money to supplement the increases, because what we had quoted back, 2 years ago is significant. It's a lot more. So, but we're focused on getting those projects done. And so this summer, we also had applied for a small modernization grant 2-3 years ago, which is about $3.5 million, and that's through the state. So what our message to the community always is yeah, there's times we have to run capital levies to fix things, but we're also going out and getting other dollars, outside dollars, to fix things, to not tax so much our community, and we've been very successful on that. And so we're getting a new HVAC system this summer in the high school. which the thing is old and antiquated, and and our buildings are almost over 40 years old. Some are, and we qualify in every area to get support wherever we can. And then our classrooms will be redone. Our 2 science classrooms, that was part of the capital levy. Our sidewalks have been broken up. I mean, you can see almost 6 inches break in those, and so we'll have those done. And we're actually going to extend and create take an opportunity to, in the entrance to our gym, we're now looking at designs to kind of make like a little mini park, a little sitting area. So as you come into our gymnasium, it's kind of like maybe Safeco Field. I don't know. It's going to be a nice little entrance there. That's also where we have graduations. So when things come out, people come out and talk. You got grass and muddy. So we're going to have kind of like try to build a sitting area. Also, one of the big things is in our stadium, we have to replace our press box, which is about to fall over. I think that thing's been around a long time. I keep asking people, and they give me different decades or maybe centuries of when that thing was put in. But that's been a real challenge too, getting the quotes and getting that done. Surprisingly, I suspect 3 or 4 years ago we could have just asked for it and had it, 3 or 4 months later. But that's not the case. But that's taken a little bit longer. But we also got another grant to where I think we're going to look at improving not just the press box, but maybe even the stands. And so we're going to make that look really nice. And then the other things that we have that are non-capital levy, we have the pavilion that's going up. I wish I could show pictures, but it's being constructed behind Guess Elementary. It's going to be a huge outdoor roofed area pavilion so kids can go out. Oftentimes kids have to stay in because of weather to do recess, and no one wants that. And not even the kids, let alone the adults. So this is going to be really good for them to be able to go out at any time, given the weather, and at least run around and refresh their brains, so to speak. So those are some of the highlights that are coming up on Capitol Levy.
If you ever have pictures like that you want to put on the show, just email them to me, Jason. I can get them right in there as you're talking about them. So.
Oh, okay.
All
well,
right.
then
just for future reference or whatever.
Yeah, perfect. That's nice. That's good to know. I can send you pictures. That'll be good to throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're really excited for the support the community's given. Also, I'd like to thank our staff for grant writing. So the director of student services, Erin Dell, has done a tremendous job, and she's be able to get these grants so that we don't have to use community dollars to do things.
And you have to be quite the investigator to hunt those down. So good job, right?
Yeah, that too. And when they come your way, we also have a reader board. I think and Mike is very well aware of this. He's been a great help. And we have a reader board going up along 395. It's going to be a huge one, as big as the DOT or as the Highway Patrol will let us put up there. And that's going to go in here probably in April. We'll have that.
Really,
wait.
that quick? Huh.
Oh, next month is April.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
I keep talking as if it's months away, but we should get that and installed, and it'll be great because we're collaborating with the city of Chewelah, the chamber, and the Lions Club, Kiwanis. Everybody's participating in this reader board, which we'll be able to promote not just the school, but even community and events happening in our community. And so we're really excited about this, not just for our school, obviously, and honoring kids, because the screen will be enough we can put up pictures and we can put up little short videos. So it's going to be it won't be as nice as the one at the casino, but that thing is like, whoa, okay. I think I'll just park and watch a movie, right? It's not like that, but we will be able to really inform our community of all the great things that are happening and meetings, and as well as what the city is trying to do. So we're really excited about that, and that's going to be another, and that's all paid through grant. That's all done through other funds, which is and donations. Right. So
what a great way to embarrass the student of the week. The student of the month.
We get two. Yeah. Well, obviously, if they don't want to have their picture up there, we won't. But definitely, really to recognize our students and the great things happening. And so there's a lot of wins on this, so people know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a text on my phone about the next one, which was the soup scoop for community. You want to explain that to people?
Yeah. Okay. So this is great. So what last year when I first started as a superintendent, the board of directors, and rightly so, said, "Hey, we need to improve communication. We need to open those lines up, and let's have some conversation, dialogue about things, so people are not only well informed but get to also inform." And so we started this soup scoop. It's a superintendent scoop. It's kind of like and it's a play on words, as you know. I don't know if it's a good one, but it stuck. And so what happened is that after every board meeting, I do a Zoom meeting with all my staff that want to join. I mean, it's not required, and I just go over things happening in the district, not just from the board meeting, but other things, so that all the staff are aware of the things, the challenges, or maybe the issues that we're faced collectively. Because, teachers are focused on their classrooms, which they should be, focused on their kids, which they should be. And, a lot of times they don't get out and see everything. And so it's awkward for them when they're hearing about things, rumors. It's best if they just hear it. And so we're trying to reduce that and improve that communication. And those are recorded and sent to staff. Well, then as we're coming up this next year, it's like, I'm constantly trying to find out, how can I have two-way communication, not just one way, but two-way, where we can have dialogue. And so I don't know how it came up, but it's like, why don't we do this soup scoop with the whole community and have a Zoom that everybody can join in and listen and kind of do a similar thing, similar to what we're doing on the radio. Okay, not everybody's listening to the radio because they have at work, or maybe they are, just another way. And so we're going to try this for the whole community. A Zoom link is set. And there's also a form. You see a QR code if you look at the flyer. The people can submit questions or topics they want to know about. And I know that sounds kind of dangerous, and I am a little nervous, to be honest with you. But I mean, who wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
But I'm excited about this opportunity to share. And if there's information I don't have, if people ask a question, I'll find it. I'll try to figure out a way to get it. And so this is the way our community can be involved and know what's going on. Other than reading a newsletter or something like that, but and then also have an opportunity to ask questions. And so that form, if you do the QR code on it, is anonymous, so people can put it in there. Because a lot of times people, may be embarrassed, but they really want to know more about something or what's happening. And so that's going to be exciting, a new thing. We're going to try it, and if it goes over well, obviously. There's also, as you know, in Zoom, you can post polls, right? You can have people, stuff. So
Right.
I think we'll kind of start that out nice and soft and easy, but then maybe we can get to some hard questions that we need to be addressing. So,
All right. And that kind of leads into tonight, right? You've got a focus group.
Yeah, no, that's something different, but yes, it's the same
Well,
idea.
I mean, as far as communication with people.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, exactly right. And this is something new as well. And a focus group is just what it is. It's a group of parents or community members on a topic that can provide us feedback and give us their perspective. The thing is it was, someone said I can't remember if I read this joke, but they said, what's the real estate? What land do you find around that is the most expensive and that has the most worth and value? And someone said a cemetery. And you have to think about that for a second, but that's where all the greatest ideas either died or before they died were hatched and have grown. And so if you take that idea, that the concept that there's a lot of people in our community that have a lot of skills and are very smart, and we need to access that. And so the idea here is with a focus group is you bring in, these are not educators, by the way. Well, they could be, maybe they had an education background in some fashion, but we pick them and then they come and they talk about a topic, and it's facilitated by a community member. There are no educators in the room. And it's not because sometimes with your group of teachers or even administrators or even superintendents, and you're talking, people usually are a little reserved about what they're going to say. And so we don't want that. We want what the parents or the communities think and feel about a certain topic without an educator there. And then that information we're going to get and collect and go through, share with the school board of directors and share with staff. And this topic is on rigor and engagement. So rigor, like in the classroom, are we stretching kids far enough? And then engagement, are they really engaged, and why are they not engaged if they aren't engaged? And so we know that that there's a lot of people out there that have their, they know it works out in the world, and we want to hear from that. And so this is just another opportunity. We'll do focus groups on other topics. You can do it on most anything, basically. But it really allows the community to give some solid, information for us to go through to look at and about. It's a similar way. It's like a survey or things like that, but it's another way to get information.
So this is a live meeting then?
Yeah. It's a small group. It's only, you're talking 8 to 10 people. In my newsletter that was sent out, we asked for volunteers. We want people who maybe there's a topic that there's an interest, right? Right now it's engagement and rigor, but there could be a different topic. And if you're really interested in that, you can sign up, email Katie Gaffney, the board secretary. She'll put you on a list. But we're also reaching out to individuals as well to try to fill that. And we have a good group coming tonight. So we're very anxious to see what they come up with and what they share.
So this group is basically by invitation only?
No, people can volunteer.
Okay.
A newsletter has come, from what I understand, the newsletter talks about it, but not everybody's received it. So I've been sending out those texts, and we've had some people, but we want to get closer to that 9. So we've called and invited a few people.
Oh, okay.
To fill that. Okay. So, but our hope is it's volunteers. But if not, we'll make some phone calls, and sometimes that special invitation also, helps. But yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. All right, coming up on the 25th, you have a student showcase.
Yes, on May. This is in May,
okay.
Our annual showcase. So that's coming up. I want to start talking about it now as opposed to a week before. Our staff are preparing the students, or the students are preparing. And it'll be, it was great last year, but obviously we want to make it better. So we have a little more organization to it. So it'll be pretty good. So we just got to all pray for good weather that day. And it'll be great for the community to come together, eat, and see what the students are doing in school, right. Even though it's just a snapshot. But
all right. So does that kind of revolve around maybe some of the projects they're working on and what they're learning?
It could be any of those. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Whether they're projects or whether they're demonstrating things that they've done, And what we're going to try to do is do a progression, starting with kindergarten or TK, and then work our way all the way up to senior year. So if you were to walk through it, you're kind of walking through a time.
That's very cool.
Here's what second grade, third grade, all the way up, and some of the things that students are learning.
So, and this will be in the city park?
Yep, same as last year. Yep.
Right, same as last year. Okay.
Right. Okay. May 25th. All right, you have a CMSI audit also happening in May. Explain to us what a CMSI audit is. It sounds scary.
Yeah. Well, the word audit scares people.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like, run. Why would someone ask for one, right? But no, this is a good audit. So audits hold us accountable. Even though we don't like them, they actually do, and we should be grateful for them. Some of them anyways. And but in this case, this is about curriculum. This is a curriculum management system, CMSI, and this is a worldwide and nationally known curriculum audit, but it's more of your district. So these are Dr. Holly Captain. She's I think they're in I want to say Illinois, but maybe it's Ohio. I think Ohio. But they go around to districts by invitation, obviously, and they do an audit. They look at all your policies. They look at your mission. They look at your evaluations. They look at everything that you're doing. They look at your budget. They look at everything, and they come in from an outside, and they look at it, and then they come for 2 days. And this is in May. I think May 8th and 9th. Is that a Monday, Tuesday? And they will come in, there'll be two individuals because the size of the district. Larger districts, more people come, obviously. But since we're a small district, there's 2. And they'll interview board members, they'll interview administrators, teachers, parents. And so there'll be opportunity, again, for parents to be talked about, hey. So what they do is they take a look at what you have written down as far as, here's what you say you're doing. They look at our school improvement plans. They look at our district improvement plans. They look at our strategic plan. They're going to look at everything, right? And they're going to say, okay, this is what you have down. They even go back as 3 years in our board minutes. They go through and they read the board minutes. And what they do is, are you focused on the right thing? Are you doing the right thing? Are you spending the money the right way? And is what's happening on the ground? They'll actually go in and they'll observe every classroom in our district. They'll go in and see every classroom. And they're going to try to match it. They're going to say, okay, this is what you say you're doing, and this is what's actually happening. And so what they'll do is they'll go through and identify the gaps and then provide feedback and say, hey, this is what we saw, and this is what we recommend you do, or you focus on to close those gaps and make what you say you're doing actually doing and happening. So it's phenomenal. I actually, in my prior life, was in the process of becoming an auditor. I didn't finish the process because I ended up moving to South America, and that's another story. But so I'm familiar with it. I've been through them, and they're very telling, and it's really good for the community, and to see, and it's to help us to become better at what we're doing. Ultimately, that's the whole goal.
Keep you focused in a way, right?
Yep, focus is the key. Right.
All right, you have a state-required sexual health community meeting coming up on April 13th at 6:30. What will this entail?
Well, this will entail us sharing with the community very openly what the state is requiring in our sexual health requirements to the community, to kids. Now, this is, we have a health curriculum, as you know, and we teach that in PE class and or your health classes. But then there's a section that's maybe a day or two long where the state's requiring us to talk about sexual health in a much deeper sense. And this is mainly an issue for high school, middle school topics, not so much elementary because it's just, your basic stuff. But we get into some sensitive material. And the state's view on sexual health is different than a lot of people's view on sexual health or sexual activity and how the whole process is to go about. And so I want to be able to share that with them. But the interesting thing is there's a lot of people that are upset about what's going on and which that's great. That's fine. But we also have a way for them to sign out. So there's students who don't have to be involved in those classes. And it's usually a day or two long of, an hour, 2 hours where we have to touch that subject required by law. But the beauty, the great thing about it is what people need to it is frustrating, but you can opt your child out, and that's totally fine. And your child's not required to go through those lessons.
Because this is a sensitive area that gets some people upset.
Of course, yeah. I mean, when you know the state has this consent law where you're basically teaching teenagers to consent to have sex, it's something to worry about. And so we need to talk about that. And so the state has its position about why it's doing that, but other people have theirs. And I think it's important to listen to that and then opt your child out, and you can. And so, but the state has its laws. And I think it's, again, we had that mask issue, the whole mask issue when the government shut everything down. People have to realize that's the state. So you can come to us and share your feelings, but we're not the ones creating the law. And I'm not trying to kick the can. I take responsibility for things that I'm responsible for. I do not take responsibility for what other people are responsible for. But I will do my best to manage it and work with people to make sure that there's a win-win in every situation.
That is a very tough position for you as a superintendent too, I imagine too, and it's good that people recognize that. You didn't make these laws, and if you really have a problem with something like that, you need to take it to the appropriate place, not beat up your local school district over it and stuff, because some things are just, with all laws, there's just some things that are out of your control. Yeah. So.
Well, there's a lot of laws that I don't agree with either. So it's, it's like, I have feelings. Actually, that's not the issue. I have reason, and some of the things I don't think are appropriate, and I think there's an overreach to a great extent. But regardless of that, I think the state, in its wisdom, has provided an out. So it's not forcing, and I'm okay with that. But we really do have legislatures. We have, and they're the ones who make the laws. So. And I don't know how many people are sending emails to their representatives on these issues. maybe they have. I know a lot of people have. And I think because they have, there's this opt out. So it does work, because if people didn't voice their opinion, there probably wouldn't be an opt out. But because they have, there is. And so I think the states sometimes can make some compromise, but they need to hear from the people.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right. You have a facility committee report. How are our facilities doing?
Okay,
Oh,
we
no,
have,
yeah,
no, is that, we don't, they're in no particular order. Yeah, we have a facility committee, a district-wide, which is made up of community members. We have 6 or 7 community members, in addition to our administrative staff and board members. And we meet regularly, but we're also meeting more regularly because we're at a juncture now where we're going to be talking about the future. We have just created a long-range facility plans, like what's going to happen in 10, 15 years. And so this committee has developed that. We're looking at maintenance too. We have a maintenance plan, an annual maintenance plan to keep things up. So our stewardship over our resources is really, really important. Not just because we're being audited. I'm kidding. I don't know if we're being audited, but it's really important that we do that, not just for the kids, but also, to be these stewards. We're stewards over this. And so we need to be planning and preparing. And so we got that plan. It's projected out. That'll be on our website. We're in its final iteration. And so people will be able to go and look at that. We're actually creating a separate tab on our website to look at all of our facilities with pictures and then upcoming projects and needs. And so we're trying to get out and get people familiar with what's coming up and some of our needs. So yeah, that's nice to talk about, because anytime that we can get a grant to fix something, we do it. And we just got a grant to put new ovens in our kitchen. And that was like $30,000, and we got a grant for that. And I think the community needs to know that we're not just going to them asking for money all the time. Whenever we can, we're going to get it. But when we do go to them, hey, we've done our homework. This is the best we can do. And we need this. And I think so far, historically, before my arrival, it's been done that way, and it's been done well. And we want to continue that moving forward. So.
All right. What a great feature too, from Mike, from a Chamber of Commerce perspective, when you have people that are looking to move into a new community, that you're going to have this on your website, that they can look and go, oh, look at all their future plans. This school district's really on the ball, and we want to move here. It's going to be good for our kids, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we really Jason, as you're talking, and maybe I missed this someplace, but it seems to me that if you were to publish, say, in your newsletter, the amount of grants that you received and what they're received for relative to the tax base, that would send a huge message.
Yeah, we'll work on that. If you look at our November newsletter of last year, we have a grid that shows outside dollars and inside dollars.
Oh, okay.
If you look at that, if you go back and look at it's on the webpage too, if you want to look at it in the newsletters. We did something like that, but I like your idea, Mike. I'm going to add that to there so we can do an official cost savings. That would be nice.
Yeah, because I think anytime that you talk about the tax base, the red flags go up.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Well, go ahead, Mike.
Oh no, I was just kind of mumbling away here.
So let's segue, since we're talking about facilities, segue into the topic of the old middle school. And I know last time we were talking to you. You were talking about the potential sale of the building. How's that moving along?
It's slow, but it's moving along.
Okay.
So it's going really great. The agreements are being. We almost had an agreement here this last week, but then we found a loophole, so we got to fix it. Every time there's an itch, you got to go to the lawyers. And so it's like, okay, scratch that one, get that done. So we found a couple holes in it. Thankfully, obviously, you don't want to have the board approve a resolution or the school board approve something if it's got any hiccups in it. So we're getting those fixed. So I anticipate now, my next anticipation is in May, we'll be able to finalize this agreement, which is going to be good. And then we'll be able to make that transition. And New Health has some great plans for that facility. And it's going to be, I have great expectations that it's going to be one of the great things in the Chewelah community, not only as a building, but also as a business and it's going to increase Chewelah a little bit. And from that, other things will grow off it. So we're really excited. One of the things that I always want to reiterate is that New Health, this isn't just about the building, but it's also about what New Health and our community at large is going to be able to do for us, because we really want to get our students into into the workplace. And so we're having discussions about that and how to get our students from that transition from school, sitting in a classroom, to out there working and experiencing careers. And New Health is going to help us with that, as well as the community. I mean, if they're not listening to this radio, we'll be tapping on their doors here in a couple of years, say, hey, you know what, we want to reach out of the classroom into your workspace. And so we haven't quite defined what that is yet, but we're working on it.
All right. So you, the last one on our list today, you have a school board director position open.
We do. Okay, so Brian Tidwell resigned for family, and it's a really tough commitment reasons, which were really good. He was an excellent board member, but now he's resigned, and so we have an opening. And so I've sent out text. It's been in the paper. So if you live within District 3, and I created when I sent, you probably got this text as well with the link. You can read it. It's not exactly the best map in the world, but you can get an idea. There is a description if you want to go through and read that. But if you live within the District 3 and you're interested, you can fill out an application, which is just a few questions, and submit those to the district office, and the board will be interviewing and trying to fill that, will fill that position. And that position goes through until November. If that person wants to continue to be a member, they'd have to submit, I think it's in May. It's coming up soon, your candidacy to be a board member, and then they'll be voted in November. So,
right.
Yeah.
And it looks like you for this position to fill to finish the term, I guess, of Brian, you're accepting applications until March 30th.
Correct. Yeah, next week. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
so
Because the board needs to look at that. And obviously they can extend that if they feel like they need to, but right now we're trying to hit a deadline so we can get a board member, because there's only 4 board members. We need 5. And so we need to try to fill that.
All right. So if somebody out there is interested, you've got a limited amount of time if you want to help the school board keep moving efficiently to get your application in, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
And it's not that big of an application. It's just a few questions.
Okay. All right.
Shouldn't scare you away. Yeah.
All right. Looking back at our list, I just wanted to point out dates again, and maybe times if you have them. A focus group tonight, 6:30 p.m. Where's that taking place at? I guess it doesn't matter because it's not for the public, right?
Well, no, it is for the public. Although, yeah, it is for the public.
Okay.
I mean, it's happening tonight. If someone showed up, we're not going to kick them out. So it is open. 6:30 at Jenkins Senior High. We'll be in a classroom. We have about 8 people. We want to keep it small. We have about 8 right now, which is a good number. We could take a couple more, but definitely, if you're interested, contact the district office, and we'll put you on there, and it'd be great. Yep.
All right. And then student showcase on May 25th in the park. Is there a start time for that?
4:30.
Okay.
We'll go to 4:30 to 6:30 this year. Yeah.
All right. And then we'll just wrap it up again. Then you have a state-required sexual health community meeting April 13th at 6:30 p.m. Where's that taking place?
That will be at Guess Elementary.
Okay.
And by the way, that's it's not required to go to the meeting.
Okay. Did I make
it's
it
a
sound like
requirement
that?
for us to do? Yeah.
Right. You're required to hold the meeting.
Required to
Yes.
hold the meeting. It's open to the community. There you go.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. And then once again, the last one we just talked about, accepting applications until March 30th, or school board director position number 3. All right.
Yes.
From District 3. All right. Anything we missed that you wanted to get out?
No. Do you have questions for me, Mike? I don't know. Is there a thing you think? What do people want to hear? I mean,
Well, I think the one you already brought up was the reader board. I mean, it's really nice to hear that it's going up in April. It sounds like it'll hopefully be operational.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to point out that the control of the board is actually in the school district office.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is going to be community focused, and so they can make an application to put. I'm sure you'll have some kind of a process to go through to make sure it's appropriate, whatever goes up on that. So congratulations on getting that done. You got graduation coming up, I assume.
Yep. By the time we meet again, yes, probably graduation will have been, and that is, I think, that's June 3rd. June 3rd. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, I thought I'd like everybody know that the Creative District's doing the Renew Washington Grant for the Arts.
Yeah.
And the first class was held a couple of weeks ago by Kat Brooks, and it was well received.
Yes,
so
it
we
was
appreciate
great.
that.
Thank you. It was great. Yep.
And we've got two more coming. One of them is watercolorist, which I believe is coming up the second week in April, because we originally had it scheduled during the spring break.
Yeah.
And then the printmaking is going to be in May. And so those are all set and ready to go. So we appreciate the opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think we were being used as kind of a pilot project to do that, because this money actually is not coming through the Arts Commission. It's coming through the Washington State Department of Commerce. And so I think once the reports are filed, hopefully we'll be able to continue that into next year.
Yeah, no, that'd be wonderful.
So, so we appreciate that. But, other than that, I think you've touched on pretty much everything I had in my mind.
Okay.
And I'm still digging that new Chihuahua logo.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, look at that, huh?
Yeah.
And you look.
I'm looking at that logo, and I know you're not part of this, but that logo, I think, is for the Tri-County area. They're developing this branding aspect for the area.
Right.
And although I have nothing to do with that, I think that logo is going to fit into what the discussions have been very well.
Good.
And you look very presidential in front of it.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that top.
You don't want me to be president. Things would change too drastically for people.
I don't know. You've actually got a sense of humor, though. It'd be kind of nice. All right. Once again, Jason Perrins, our Chihuahua School District Superintendent. Another great interview. Thanks for being on the show, Jason.
No, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. We'll see you in a few more months. Not monthly.
All right. You are a Chihuahua gem. Thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you. Okay, have a good day, everyone.
You too. All right, real quick as we get ready to move into odd news, I wanted to roll out to today's birthdays. We just have one. It's Kaylee Parrott having a birthday, and that's from our Lions Club community birthday calendar. There you go. All right. Moving on. We just got a few minutes left, but time to get a little goofy. Can you do that? Can we switch gears, Mike?
You bet.
All right.
Where do we want to go?
All right. I don't know, but let's fry up that bacon.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid.
You know, you look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
I figured we better do this because I spent a lot of time getting sound effects this morning. All right, we always kick it off with the news attack where the first sentence is true and the second sentence is a really bad joke. And Mike is here to talk about those poor Ferrari customers. Wow.
Ferrari owners. Yeah,
man.
Ferrari says its customer data was stolen by hackers.
Probably the smartest movie ever, though, for a hacker, right? Let's get some information on rich people instead of all these poor ones.
Exactly. Yeah, you're probably in there.
Yeah,
no. So before the information was leaked to the internet, I will confess I'm in the database.
Yeah?
Because I once ordered a Ferrari keychain directly from their website.
That's all I could afford was maybe an emblem.
Right?
Maybe. All right.
Maybe. And not a real one, because
Yeah.
the real one's probably still like $10,000.
Probably. Earliest stone tools found were developed by early humans at least 3.3 million years ago. Scientists say that the tools they had unearthed were made with excellent craftsmanship, and each came with its own warranty.
Hey, Scott, if you haven't heard this, March Madness is down now to the Sweet 16.
Ooh, exciting.
Ooh, yeah. I'm pretty excited.
Really?
Yep. They're breaking out the T-shirt cannon at church on Sunday.
That's so wrong. Most Americans say they've never order from healthy menus. We figure as long as the thing we order is close to the healthy menu, we're good enough, right?
That's absolutely true. The Rusty Putter, we tried a healthy menu.
Didn't work?
Didn't work.
Oh. Bring on the meats. Okay. Back to you, Mike.
Oh, Easter's only 18 days away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Loretta's already bought her Cadbury eggs.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it only means it's only 3 months until your neighbor takes down that giant inflatable egg on his front lawn.
And I bet you your wife's mad. She said she's already been laying the Cadbury eggs. Study found that taking naps reduces Mike's chance of heart problems. You don't have to go to bed. Any comfortable chair will do. For example, any theater showing the new Shazam movie will work for you, Mike.
What movie?
Shazam.
What movie?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, researchers say people with a low IQ are more likely to be prejudiced.
Really?
I'm thinking back to the beginning of the show and your jokes.
Yeah, I'm thinking of those people they always like to put on camera at Trump events.
That's right. Exactly. Okay. It's not that they have a low IQ. It's just that sometimes when the guy's taking an intelligence test, that darn hooded sheet always gets in the way.
Oh. Yeah, that's just like the jokes from the start of the show. A study found the world needs to do twice as much as it's doing to stop global warming. Twice as much. So that would be 2 times 0.
Is 0.
But 1 + 1 is 2, which is the same as a low IQ.
Oh, you rhyme.
Wow.
He's a poet.
All right.
Pretty soon you'll start rapping.
Yes.
A 1 and a 2 is a 2.
I need you to,
a 2 and a 2 is a 2.
You got to do that thing in the background, though, if I'm going to rap going cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. Okay.
Okay.
All right. On to wacky but true. We don't add anything to these but sound effects. And you get to tell us about baby Hades.
A French couple are battling for the right to name their baby Hades, which is the name of the god of the underworld in Greek mythology.
Bad guy.
Where my son lives, their home address is 666. So they call it Casa Diablo. But anyway, the public prosecutor in the city has refused to accept the name, and the couple cannot obtain a mandatory document for their child.
Wow.
Oh, man. In France and many other countries, authorities have power to ask the parents to change the name if it goes against the child's interest.
There you go. And I guess at the state office, the guy behind the counter leaned up to the French couple and said,
"Begone, evil one!"
4 Vietnam Airlines flight attendants were arrested after a flight from Paris to Ho Chi Minh City. During a routine security clearance check, customs officers at the airport allegedly detected drugs in the crew's luggage. The whole crew. Well, the whole cabin crew. The cabin crew hoped that no one would find anything suspicious about someone carrying more than 150 tubes of toothpaste. When they asked one of the flight attendants why, he said,
"Well, sir, someday I'd like to be a dentist."
Because he's going to rot out all of his teeth.
Right. Oh, let's go to Italy.
Yay.
Okay, an Italian driver, angry at being cut off, used a phony police badge to stop the other car, only to discover that the other driver was a real police officer.
Oops.
Oops. Yeah, the genuine officer wasn't on shift and wasn't in uniform, but he arrested the fake cop and handed him over to his on-duty friends.
And here's what he had to say.
I am what I am, and I do what I do. If you guys make shoelaces, some lay sod, others make a very good living neutering animals. I'm a cop.
In Norway, witnesses told police a man was breaking into a car. When officers arrived, the suspect got into his own car and tried to drive away. About a mile down the road, a tire went flat, but he kept on driving until there was smoke coming from the front end. The man then abandoned his vehicle and fled on foot, but he lost a shoe and then was caught by police. Here's what he had to say.
Where's my shoe? What? You knocked off my shoe!
Oh, well, let's talk about the man that entered the pub in Romania.
Okay.
Okay, you know, he went through the roof, which was smart, started to load his pockets with money, which is smart, and ever else he could find. He had a plan. Then he paused to try the various whiskeys. Too many whiskeys. He was found passed out by the pub's owner in the morning.
Oh.
Bodu blib, bobu gip, bodwa da, do, da, dwa, ma.
I got my 2 hands up. I surrender. Come and lock me up. Here forever.
And that's the way it went down. Police in Ontario, Canada have charged a man who they say failed a driving test before driving off. Officers were called out after the man got angry and he failed after failing the driving test. Driver allegedly yelled at the driving test staff, got into his vehicle, sped through the parking lot, drove through a walkway, nearly hitting 4 people, and then did numerous burnouts in the plaza parking lot. Police say they found him sitting in the driver's seat of the parked vehicle. Here's what he had to say to the cops.
Wreck? Shoot, I'm the world's best backwards driver.
Okay.
Oh, there's a driver from New York that was allegedly caught doing double the normal speed limit in Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
He told the police that he didn't realize speed signs were posted in miles per hour. Posted speed limit of 80 kilometers per hour, which is 50 miles per hour. The 52-year-old driver was allegedly caught doing 142 kilometers per hour, which is 88.
You know, when I'm on the freeway and I get pulled over and they have the kilometers and miles per hour, I say, I like to go with the top number. All right. Here's something similar.
You know how fast you were going?
What?
How fast you were going?
65.
63.
Officer, isn't the speed limit 65?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Maybe not that good. Young woman in Italy granted a divorce because her bossy mother-in-law was ruining her life. Wife told the judge that her husband was completely dominated by his mother and become a slave to her. Court granted the divorce on the grounds of excessive and unfounded interference from the woman's mother-in-law. Gave the ex-wife the house plus the alimony. Wow.
For real?
Husband said, that's cool. I wanted to move back in with my mom.
Well, in Portugal.
Hold on. I want to play what the judge said.
Okay.
So the judge, after he awarded the woman the house and the alimony, he said this.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Okay.
Now you can go to Portugal.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting me go to Portugal. A couple of teenage boys needed money. So they picked out a location and stormed the building's lobby with one of them holding his hand inside of his jacket as though there was a gun. The other team demanded cash from the person behind the glass enclosure. The next thing they knew, they were surrounded by half dozen police officers. It seems the teens had mistaken the local police station for a bank.
Oops. Oh, yeah. I know parents with kids like that.
I could come back later, Mr. Harkin.
Oh, no. It's just parent stuff. It seems that our youngest, Chris, was on something called acid and was firing a bow and arrow into a crowd. You know how kids are.
Yeah, you know how kids are. All right, here's another one. In the UK, juror was discharged from a case after being caught smoking pot in the courthouse toilets. Discharged from the case and more than likely arrested.
But I am stoned.
I got my 2 hands up. I surrender. Come and lock me up here forever.
That's right. He was doing it close to the action. And that's our odd news for today. Big round of applause for Mike Benz for showing up. All right, Mikey, next week we are off, and then will we be back on like Wednesday, I think it's the 4th or the 5th, with our first Thursday and Tim Nilsson, right? First Thursday.
That's correct.
All right, so we will be off next week. Other than that, Mike, any closing words, anything you wanted to point out?
Oh, don't forget the big Chihuahua Home and Garden Show this coming Saturday, the 25th from 10 to 3 with lots of vendors, vendor coupons, hamburgers, door prizes, raffles.
And all taking place at Guess Elementary.
Guess Elementary.
10 to 3. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said and? No?
Well, you took the wind out of my sails. You were reading my mind, oh Kobe-wan.
Oh, and that's funny because he's usually the windy one. You fell right into that one, Mike. I'm sorry.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Payback just a couple weeks away, so.
Yeah, I know. I'll be spending 2 weeks thinking of it.
Have a great day. Keep on listening to Northern Lights Public Radio. Tomorrow it's 3 Amigos Thursday with Chuck Ritchie, Alan Maloney, and myself, Scott Allen. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Have a good 2 weeks.
Your KCHW morning show made possible by a donation from God-fearing